the Detroit Lions, taking on the Chicago Bears.
Coming to you from the venue that hosted the Super Bowl back in February of '06. Welcome to Ford Field in downtown Detroit. Today, our Thanksgiving coverage continues with a good one here between the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions. And we will not get a run back here to start. It's a touchback, and it will come out to the 25. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their 6'3" quarterback.
And I thought it was a really nice performance last week by him. 3 touchdown passes. I think that signifies exactly what he was getting done. He did have the 1 interception.
But that's the ratio you say you're okay with, right?
If you go 3-1, you're going to be pretty happy over the course of the season. And let's face it, he'll never blame the receiver publicly. But behind closed doors, he probably told his agent, hey, what's the deal? I should have had a perfect game.
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 14 carries, 74 yards.
And even though it's a short week, running backs love when they're in a groove, and that's exactly where he is right now. He's hoping to feast a little bit more here on Thanksgiving.
A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. They run out of the gun with Swift. And this will wind up a Lions first down as he'll get this up to about the 42.
Second and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on third down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. Touchdown. A great play there with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Lions are going to take a first-quarter lead. Extra point by Seibert up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. Fielded just outside the goal line. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. They'll fake the handoff. Now Fields. And this is taken in by Darnell Mooney. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49.
And time to give some credit to the big fellows, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes because you've got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time, able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right. And
trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked by Jeff Okudah. And the Lions are going to get it back here just past the 35. And this, Charles, definitely not what they were wanting to see. Remember, he threw 3 interceptions in the loss last week, and now he gives the ball away again here in the very first quarter.
And you have to think that this was drilled into him all week, too, by his teammates, by his coaching staff. They've told him all week long, we've got to protect the football. They probably crossed that fine line with giving him the right advice and saying it too much, and it turned out that it got into his head a little bit.
Now it's 2nd and 9. Now a toss for Swift left side. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. But, Charles, this Thanksgiving tradition is so great. I mean, going back essentially through the full century of the NFL, I know you probably have a lot of fond memories of Thanksgiving Day football yourself.
I certainly do, and I don't have the Turkey Bowl tradition. You know, the families that go out and play them and come in and sit down to their feast and watch football. But I remember reading about, the Lions jumping on the Packers on Thanksgiving Day, the only loss the Packers had in 1962, and they sacked Bart Starr over 10 times in that game. And I remember Dave Williams from the Bears returning the overtime kickoff for a touchdown to win a game on Thanksgiving Day. I remember so many different things happening, but how much fun is it each and every year to know that you've got football on Thanksgiving Day?
This is taken around the 12. A big kick that time, 52 yards, and the Bears take over. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. And they, almost to a man, told us how excited they are to be playing in this traditional Thanksgiving game. But we have to remember, this is a team that lost on Sunday. Now they get a very quick turnaround to play again. How difficult is that to do?
It's difficult under any normal circumstance when you're coming off of a loss and you have a quick turnaround. The first thing is to put the loss behind you and move forward. But when you plan on Thanksgiving Day, everyone's watching you. It's an added bonus, though, because now you put the loss behind you. Get that taste out of your mouth, because the taste you want is victory, turkey, and pumpkin pie.
And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Now it's Fields. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
Looks like a second empty possession to start the game, and certainly not the way you want to start when you're coming off of a loss last week. Every team talks about starting fast. They're hoping on their next possession, it can be a delayed fast start and get them going.
Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked out and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
Another shot now for this Lions offense. And they will begin with, should we call it, far from ideal starting field position, their own 2-yard line.
So what's your definition of ideal?
The 1-yard line on the other side of the field.
Yes, exactly right. So, yes, your definition is apropos in this case.
Zadarius Smith able to get him down. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. From the gun, here's Swift. And he'll take this forward only up to about the 7. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first. Back to throw. Jeffers. And he's going to go down. He backed up into the end zone, and this is going to wind up a safety. So the screen pass goes backwards. That play seemed to have a potential disaster written all over it from the start.
I mean, wasn't that a tough spot on the field to make that call? You're inviting defensive linemen and linebackers to get pressure. So if one of them snips this out, you're definitely in danger, and this time it cost them 2 points.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And they come into this one off the loss over the weekend, but you say if you're going to play a Thursday night game, this is the week to do it.
It certainly is, because you get right back out there. You don't have time to dwell on things. And look, your game plan is going to be a little more limited, but so is theirs. So that's when you just appeal to your top players. Guys, you make plays in this one, we out-execute them, we can walk away with a win.
The numbers on the ground for Montgomery in last week's affair. 16 carries, 51 yards. Back to Montgomery on 2nd down.
And even though it's a short week, running backs love when they're in a groove, and that's exactly where he is right now. He's hoping to feast a little bit more here on Thanksgiving.
So, Charles, you talk about this head coach and his future with this franchise. Look, it's been a frustrating year, and I think we saw some of that frustration boil over at his weekly press conference earlier in the week.
Yeah, he's trying to say all the right things, isn't he? But he's heard the rumors. He knows what's going on out there. And right now, he is tired of having to answer the question, are you on the hot seat in every meeting with reporters? This week, he kind of said, I've had enough. And I don't blame him. He looks like a guy that may very well be out the door.
We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. Solid running on the carry, but still brought down just inside of the 40. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. On 2nd down, Montgomery. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line.
These two teams, you may remember, they met up at Soldier Field earlier this season with the Bears winning that one. So if they can win again here in Detroit, they'd pull off the season sweep.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Montgomery. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
So that'll back him up 5.
Still 2nd down.
Following the penalty, Montgomery. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. Now, it looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves them with 7 yards to go on 3rd down.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
He'll leave it for Montgomery complete. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the 1st down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he's going to get the 1st down here as he's taken down at the 22.
I don't care what he's listed in the program. Fullback, running back, tailback, it doesn't matter. He ran that play like a fullback. Just like the old days when we saw the fullback dive. How about him picking that one up?
Well, they needed a yard on 4th down. That's what he's there for, right?
Exactly. Line him up, short yardage situation, and say, here it is, big man. Go get it.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
But nothing takes to start to have a good drive quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long.
2 minutes remaining in this 1st half of football. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth. He's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
Detroit was up for the challenge through the air. They force a 4th down. And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And that will cut the lead down to just 2.
So add 3. All told, after the safety, it's a 5-point swing. And that could have turned out much worse.
Well, you don't want to say no harm, no foul, but I do believe you're right. A 9-point swing hurts. 5 points, much more manageable, especially in a tight game like this.
And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get, and it's just so strange to see that go up on the board, and then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But, boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it, and it's second down.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Looking to throw. Jeffers.
That's complete to Swift out of the backfield.
And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
You know, thinking of this Thanksgiving Day game, Charles, for years we've heard the talk, why don't we open up these Thanksgiving Day games instead of just being Detroit and Dallas every year, give other teams a shot to host? I know you're kind of like me, a bit of a traditionalist, but what do you have to say to that, CD?
I think it's a great argument, and the league could support it quite well, where you could move games to different spots and still be very successful on Thanksgiving Day, but you're exactly right. I am a traditionalist. I really don't want Detroit and Dallas to give up those slots. I like the fact that we watch them each and every year. But what I really like is that the league added a 3rd game in 2006. And usually it's division rivals, but that's the 3rd one of the day, and it caps off a great day of football. Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Back to throw. Jeffers throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
No coverage bust by the defense here. They did a nice job accounting for everybody, and that led to an incompletion.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Looking to throw. Jeffers over the middle, and it's caught. Keenan Allen. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half.
They'll run with Swift.
And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. Back to throw. Jeffers. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Lions add on to their lead. Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And that makes this a 9-point game. So that one, an 8-play drive. It spans 75 yards. And the end result, a Detroit touchdown.
Taken in at the 3. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense.
And they'll take over with just 16 ticks remaining before intermission.
They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. Romeo Okwara in on the tackle. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
A final shot before the break. Fields
going up top for Miller.
Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked by Jeff Okudah. And he will be brought down on what will be the final play of this first half.
An abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. The Bears going to see the football first, and they trail here as we get back underway to start this second half. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21. Here comes Justin Fields and the rest of the Bears offense.
And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say, well, get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the third quarter. The previous run, good for 9. Here's second and a yard. Off play action. Fields rolling to his right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. A big connection on that one. 32 yards.
We see this happen so often. If you're a defender, it's like watching a bad movie over and over. The pressure's good, forcing the quarterback out of the pocket. But it's a lot to ask for these defenders to stay plastered to receivers long enough. And sure enough, they let a man come open, and the connection leads to a big play.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now. Hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a third and about 2. They'll run it. Here's Montgomery. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line.
I haven't met a football team yet that runs the ball successfully that doesn't talk about having an attitude to be a running football team, right? You got to be able to put your nose in there, smell where the first down sticks are, and get there.
First down, here's the run with Montgomery. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. He gets this down to the 3, but no further. Brought the great move out of the bag, but couldn't do a ton with it. Only a yard on the pickup there. Second and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
Sometimes I get caught in hyperbole, but I think they desperately need to punch this one in. They're running out of time.
Yeah, 2-score game, second half. You're down here. This is the time to put it in the end zone.
And not going to get much better than this for an opportunity.
They'll run here on third and goal. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. A great play there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Bears have cut it to within a score. But just power football there down near the goal line. Give it to him. He's able to push his way across.
Yeah, they went heavy there. Sometimes you have those big offensive linemen come in, have to report like they're eligible. But all they're doing is getting a good stance, blocking, and getting their runner across the goal line.
Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And the lead is down to 2. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line.
So we're going to look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half.
And maybe some renewed pressure on this unit following the touchdown a moment ago. It's back to a one-score game.
And because of that pressure, because it's now a one-score game, they know this is where you need to slow the momentum change, because otherwise that could overrun your team. You've got to be careful right here.
On the ground, it's Swift to start the drive.
And they're able to get this one across the 35.
96 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Jeffers. The kidder here, it's complete. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion and would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. They'll try and run here with Swift.
And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield.
These two teams, they met up earlier in the year, back in week 2. And it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home.
Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
And those two just have been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
Third quarter of a 2-point game, a good one so far. Here's 2nd and 10. They'll run the toss to Swift.
They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
I'm getting a sense that the momentum of this game is changing since the break. Nice play there, and this D is fired up.
The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for 3rd down. From the gun, Jeffers. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. Here comes the Lions punter now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Back now at Ford Field. We're on to the 4th here on Thanksgiving Day. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Here's Fields.
Escaping the pressure right.
Got a man. It's De'Ami Brown, complete.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
Barney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go, and let's see who's faster.
On 3rd down, they go Montgomery. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage.
3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the first down.
Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
There's no question that coming into this game, this defense is pretty vocal about its desire to take this running back out of his game. And all that pregame wolfing has turned into results.
2nd and 12. To throw is Fields.
Flushed out right. And he will slide down with a good gain. And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
The Bears on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 2. Montgomery a first down and then some. Touchdown, Chicago! David Montgomery, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Bears have taken the lead. Well, they were just hoping that run would pick up the first. They got the whole enchilada.
And I'm so used to teams on 3rd down, doesn't matter how far they need for a first down, throwing the ball. Instead, they run it, and as you said, picked up the first down, and then some, and then some. In fact, everything all the way for a touchdown. Terrific play.
Extra point by Blankenship is up and good.
And the lead is up to 5.
So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Time for another look at this Lions offense. And now they'll look to answer working from behind. And remember, this offense has sputtered yet to score here in the second half. They'll need to change that here.
On first down, Jeffers. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Here comes the blitz as they look pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Bilal Nichols picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Well, when you time those screen passes perfectly, they can work perfectly, but that time it took a little too long to develop.
And you zeroed in on exactly what makes that play go. Timing. Because if the timing's off at all, those unblocked defenders coming at the quarterback, they'll put him on the deck.
And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. Here comes the Lions punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. This is taken at the 10. And he is out of bounds, able to get it across the 20-yard line.
13 yards on the return there after a punt of 57.
And the offense will take over with a new set of downs.
Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They'll keep pounding here with Montgomery. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32.
You know, if following up on this head coach and the pressure that he is under, CD, I want to switch it to you because you've been on winning teams, but I know you've been in similar situations too where things just are not going well. How do you approach that as a player?
It's a tough approach, Brandon, because you actually have to do the opposite of what you would think. You know, in your mind, you're thinking, I redouble my efforts, I go harder. In a sense, you have to back off a little bit. You have to do a little bit less. Do what you're supposed to do, but don't take on the pressures of doing more and trying to do your teammates' jobs as well. If you do that, that's really going to lead you to more issues.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll go to Montgomery to try to wind some clock. The Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Again, they'll go ground with Montgomery. And he is going to have the first down, and that is going to suck the life right out of this crowd.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to, and it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line.
55 rushing yards rushing for him now to this point.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
Now they try the right side here. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down. So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half. That's a great way to close them out.